Hey guys, it's Merlini. I'm bringing you a new series called Mad Rares with Merlini. And as most of you know, you can bet on competitive matches, and almost all of them will be listed on Dota 2 Lounge. That's the site that I will be talking about and that I will be using. And you can bet up to 4 rares, commons, or uncommons per game, whichever you prefer. So for those of you that have never bet before, I'll just give you a brief introduction on how to start out. Just go to dota2lounge.com, you sign in through Steam, type in your password, and then you log in. And then after that, you click on a match, and then you can just place your items wherever you click on your team, and then it'll say place bet, and then you trade with a bot, and it gives like a confirmation code to make sure that everything's okay, and then you put your rares on the bot. And then after that, you're pretty much good to go. You can change teams after you place a bet, but you cannot rescind your bet. And if you need more introductional rules, you can just click on the sidebar. There's plenty of useful information there. So a lot of people, it's a very volatile betting system just because the results are very unexpected sometimes. But sometimes you can get a lot of rares. And one really good thing about it is you actually get to sometimes exchange your crappy rares for really good rares. Everyone's tired of axe sets and Omni Knight hammers and all that garbage. And sometimes you get some cool stuff like I got the Darkseer hat the other day, and there's many other useful rares that people are just giving away apparently. So why should you bet? Well, if you think you can get an edge and you can get more rares, then you should bet. Because you'll end up with more items than you did before. You can exchange your crappy rares for better rares if you think you're just going to break even, or it just makes things more interesting. If you aren't terribly interested in competitive, this will definitely spice things up for you. So, there's actually a match ticker on Join Dota, but unfortunately they don't actually have every match listed. For example, the Alliance and Rock's Kiss is right here, but the other match in the G League qualifiers, Fnatic versus TTD, has not been listed yet. So sometimes Dota 2 Lounge is a little bit lazy about putting up all the matches, or maybe they just don't want that much traffic. I don't exactly know. And you can also check Gosu Gamers for match tickers if you so desire. GosuGamers.net/Dota2 and Join Dota. .com for the match ticket, and it'll also tell you recent results. So the odds for this one, 90-10. If you place 4 rares on Rock's Kiss, you will end up with a whopping 41. And it's about 9-1 odds, so 9 out of 10 times the Lions should win. And I think that it should actually be more than that. So 9 out of 10 times, if you bet on Rock's Kiss, you'll lose 4 rares, so minus 36. And then 1 out of 10 times, you'll actually win and get 41. So it's slightly less than 9-1 because that doesn't add up to 0, but you get the point. But also for decimals, you have 4/10 of a chance of getting 1 rare if you bet 4 rares on Alliance. So this one's a pretty crummy bet, but for something more exciting like the Alliance versus Na'Vi or a lot of the games yesterday, then you'll get a lot more rares. So I have bet on some underdogs, and sometimes you get like a crap ton of rares too. I bet on VP the other day, and I just got like enormous amounts of rares when they beat Fnatic, and I also got tons of rares when I bet on LGDN too. So sometimes you win big, sometimes you win absolutely nothing. Like when I bet on IG versus Hearts, a no-name team, I got 0 rares. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I almost always post my predictions to reddit.com/r/Dota2LoungeBets, and these were my predictions for yesterday, and I'll include a brief statement about them. And these are already concluded, but my results from yesterday were pretty good. I only lost 1 bet, and that was a Na'Vi versus Alliance. Alliance has been treating me well in that particular matchup, but unfortunately, I lost 4 rares there. But overall, I am up 121 out of 161 bets. So I definitely know what I'm doing. And if for those of you guys that are interested in this plugin that actually shows you how many rares you have, you've won or lost, then I'll post that in the YouTube video description. Also, make sure that you don't blow out, and people like get overzealous, but if you only have 4 rares, you don't want to risk everything, especially on a very gambly matchup like Na'Vi versus Alliance. That's pretty much just a coin flip. So I would recommend starting off with commons and then maybe moving up to uncommons, or if you want, you can just buy rares and bet with those if you so desire. To each his own. But now I have plenty of rares, so that 4 rares is just like whatever. You want to have a large bankroll so that you aren't exactly scared of what's to come. So for tomorrow, we have Alliance versus Rock's Kiss, Dignitas versus Fnatic EU, and Alliance versus Na'Vi. Alliance versus Rock's Kiss. Rock's Kiss is just a no-name team. It's a best of 3. Alliance, almost no chance they'll drop this. Fnatic EU versus Dignitas. There was recent news that Dignitas actually kicked out Korok. I don't know what the reason is, but Fnatic EU did look pretty strong. They won 2-1 versus Empire yesterday, and they have taken down some stronger teams in the past. So it's pretty much in favor of Fnatic. And you don't actually bet on who you think is going to win. You bet on where you're getting value. And like if I think the true odds are 87-13 Fnatic, I'm getting value because it's actually 81% in favor of Fnatic. So oftentimes I'll talk about what I think the true odds actually are. And Alliance versus Na'Vi, this is the closest match definitely for tomorrow. And this is in D2. I'll actually be casting this, and I will bet on Na'Vi. It's 54-46 in favor of Alliance right now, which is surprising considering they lost yesterday in a best of 5, and they'll be playing 12 hours beforehand in the G League. So there'll be some issues of fatigue, and you do have to consider external factors sometimes. Traditionally in the matchup, Alliance has been winning a lot, and this circle graph shows you how often Alliance has won. So Alliance has won 9 times, 60%, on Na'Vi has won 40%. So that's probably why the odds are like this, but I think it's definitely 50-50. Or maybe just slight edge to Na'Vi since they won yesterday. And also, it's not an important match for Alliance. They are already on top of the league, which are playing in, which is D2L. And the odds aren't even that much worse than yesterday, where Alliance was on a pretty hot streak. And Na'Vi also bans out Nature's Prophet and Bounty Hunter and first picks Clockwork versus Alliance, and they kind of seem lost as to what to do versus that. And also, Na'Vi won with Medusa, which is really ridiculous, and that's pretty unheard of. So I must give Na'Vi at least a slight edge in this matchup. And if it's below 50% for Na'Vi, I'll definitely bet on them because I think I'll be getting value. So all in all, just be careful, guys. Don't blow out on your rares too fast, or you won't be having any fun there. And just be careful where you choose. And I generally put like a very long description as to why. Like for example, yesterday I put a very long description, so you can just read through that. I'll be releasing videos fairly consistently, and I'll be posting on /r/Dota 2 Lounge Bets if you want to check in on there, because I'll probably be just releasing videos once in a while, whereas there's like Dota 2 Lounge updates that are posts like very, very commonly. It's sometimes like 3 matches, and then they'll add like 5, and they'll add like another 5, and I can't just release like 3 videos in a day. So for more updated info, just check the video description. So I'll be just talking more about bets and all the matchups and what I think you should place your rares. And I'm up 100 rares. Hopefully you can be the same. So it looks like Dota 2 Launch has decided to add some more matches right at the conclusion of my video, so I'll just be doing a brief addendum at the end to accommodate for the new matches. So first one is VP versus Mouse. VP has been looking really hot lately. They beat Fnatic, they beat Mouse 2-0 in their last matchup, but Mouse has also been looking stronger. Yesterday they moved Synderen off the support role, and they just look like a revitalized team. So odds I would probably say are around like 72-28 in favor of VP right now. So I would be betting on VP since it's less than 72. And I think that if Mouse actually wisens up and bans out a Light of Heaven hero like Darkseer, then VP's chances to win are severely less. But as of right now, VP strongest team. Trend is your friend. Putting my rares on them. The Asus Dream League are the other 3 matchups, best of 1s, all 3 of them, which is very important to consider, and Alliance is in 2 of them. So Alliance actually has 4 matches today, best of 3, best of 3, best of 1, best of 1. So they could potentially be paying 8 games, but I doubt this game will go to 3 against Rock's Kiss, so I think it's probably going to be like a 7-game day for them, which is very important to consider, considering they're like very far apart, 2 hours and 10-hour break until that, and then another game and another game. So they have to travel to Korea next week too for the Nexon Invitational, and that is something that you have to consider. So EG actually took a game of Alliance when they played in D2L, and it was like a kind of a close game, but still beating Alliance even 1 game is very, very impressive. So I think these odds are actually a little bit skewed in favor of Alliance out there, because there are a lot of Alliance fanboys. So in this particular matchup, I think the odds are a little bit closer to probably 80-20. It's pretty much spot on. But Alliance, when they lost versus EG, they like picked Axe, picked Dazzle, picked some random picks in their first game. It was kind of a throwaway game for them. But if these odds are less than 20%, I'll probably place like very small rares in terms of EG. If it's very close to 80-20, I may not even bet at all. So this one, pretty low EV, very high risk trade. And VP versus Alliance, VP is definitely stronger than EG right now, and it's a very similar story. VP is very inconsistent, but they didn't actually take a game in their last best of three. VP did manage to have a very significant early game advantage with G on the Death Prophet, so I think they can maybe take Alliance by surprise. I would say the odds are probably very close to like 76-24 in favor of Alliance. If it's less than that, I may be a small on VP, which is looking like it right now, but it's still very early, so these odds are still very likely to change. Like 400 people place items, these are definitely going to change. And the last but not least is Liquid versus EG, and this is also best of one. Liquid absolutely dominated EG last time they played 2-0, and they were like pretty quick games and pretty brutal, if I must say. So I think the odds for this are closer to like 80-20 in favor of Liquid. And because Liquid just has EG's number, but EG is as inconsistent as always, so it's still a fairly risky bet. But as of right now, if it's less than 80% for Liquid, I will be betting on them. So all in all, pretty high risk day because of the best of three format, and because Alliance just has so many matches. Who knows how they're going to perform like 4, 5, 6 hours in. So I'll definitely be betting on Navi in the D2L, though I didn't not know they had to play this many games. So as usual, if you like my videos, please subscribe to me at youtube.com/MerliniDota. I'll be releasing these videos fairly frequently, and may the gods bless you with many, many rares.